Hello, my name is Sydney, and today is part 2 of the Kent Coast walk that I'm doing. I am so excited. I'm here in Greenhithe right now, which is where I ended off the last walk. I just got off from a 1.5 hour train ride. I didn't have a lift here this time, unlike last time when my mum joined me. I'm all on my own. Here we are, back by the Thames in Greenhithe. I'll show you a clip of the train station and where I ended off last time. Just put that in here. We pretty much ended our walk last time over by that Asda sign. That's where I left the path and joined this busy road. And if I turn around, we are heading this way for the walk this time. Right behind me, you can see the Dartford Bridge from last time in the mist back there. I think that's pretty cool. We're heading off to Gravesend today. Greenhithe to Gravesend. It's roughly the same length as the last walk, roughly. I think maybe slightly shorter, or I don't know. It's so close. It's practically the same length, this walk. I'm so excited to get started with this. So I'm not gonna wait any longer. Luckily the weather seems to be holding out, which is good. Oh my gosh, and that's right behind me. That's Essex right there behind me. So that's really interesting as well. Of course we're gonna have Essex in the background for quite a while we travel down the Thames to the North Sea. I'm gonna get a shot of what's over there right now. So just over there you can actually see that gigantic pylon thing. Which I have now learned is actually the tallest in Great Britain, along with the one on the other side in Essex right there. And we're going to be going right underneath that a little bit later. It won't be long until we're... the camera just went out of focus because of all the mist. But yeah, basically, we'll be going right underneath that later. I thought that's really awesome and interesting, and it's going to be fun. Rightio, so let's have a quick look at the map and where we are going to be going today. We are, of course, going to be starting where we ended off last time, if the camera will focus. There we go. At Greenhithe Station. We then follow up this little road from the roundabout to the edge of the Thames. Last time we came down this little green road next to my finger here, and we had to, because you can't walk across that bit. You have to go like around. And we're going to walk all the way along the coastline of Greenhithe, or the riverside, until we get to the marshes, or the countryside, where the edge of all the settlement is there. We then head across the marshes up this little green public right-of-way. When we get to here, we will then head off the public right-of-way and head up towards this little inlet, which is actually a place called Broadness Harbour. I'm very excited for that. And then we'll go to the very tippity top of this this peninsula here that you can see in the Thames. We'll then follow it down the other side, where we have to avoid all of this industrial. So we have to go around that and rejoin the public right-of-way, continue down, avoiding the industrial, until we make it to Northfleet, where we follow the main road to this roundabout, and then head up this little white road here, which goes along there, joining this public right-of-way, which you can see that goes along here. And I believe that goes right through the centre of an industrial estate, which that's going to be quite interesting to experience. Then we join this white road here, following straight across, following that white road, back to this public right-of-way where we go up and then along, all the way along the Thames coast until we get to the centre of Gravesend. I would have just shown you the map right there in that clip, but it's Greenwich and Gravesend again, number 126, if you want to know which map I'm using for this walk. This is going to be the last walk in which I use this map, actually. because the next walk, which will be Gravesend to Cliff, that I'm going to need to use the next map along. So this has been a good map so far. Hopefully it holds out for today. Right, we should actually get started with the walk now. I've been standing in this spot for ages. It's quite a nice view, even though it's only the Thames. It's just really fun to just look at the Dartford crossing, and we've got some birds right there. I just noticed those in the mud there, looking for food. Greenhithe, the houses along the Thames front here, they're so nice. There's some very loud birds down there. I don't know if you can see them. Actually, if I zoom in, I think that's them, that little dark patch. They're being very loud. Oh my gosh. But yes, the houses along the Greenhithe coast are really, really nice. If I turn around, you can see the other houses there. Actually, this industrial thing here, that's where I was forced to go inland last time, on the other side of that. So you have to go inland towards the Asda and then come back out where I've just come out again. Birds! Settle down! Seriously, you're so loud. Wow, we've come around the riverbend, not that far really, but you can practically see straight down the middle of the Dartford crossing. And if I'm not mistaken, right in between, you can see a little hill, which is up on the other riverbank over there. There's a hill, and I think this is probably our last sighting of Greater London, because I'm pretty sure that is in Greater London over there. So the second walk on the Kent Coastal Walk, our last sighting of Greater London. There's been so much to see already on this small stretch of Greenhithe coast. Right here we've got a abandoned boat, a shipwreck, I suppose. Well, what does that say over there? Oh, that's this sign over here is advertising a food place just over here. We've been forced to turn away from the coast again, which I'm not complaining actually. It gives me a nice look at the main street of Greenhithe, which has some pretty interesting architecture. It's quite picturesque here, surprisingly. Obviously down this way you've got the more modern houses. This small little sort of high street road in Greenhithe is actually really peaceful. I'm generally surprised. And it's got a lot of very interesting architecture all along it. I wasn't expecting this from Greenhithe, or any of these places really, this close to London. But despite the fact that we've got busy roads just over the hill that way, or you can see all the industrial stuff on the other side of the Thames, it's so quiet here, and peaceful. You cannot hear a car anywhere or anything, it's just so quiet here. Here's another view of that shipwreck, but from the other side. You can actually see inside on this side. There are lots of shipwrecks along here. We've got this boat right here. We're just stranded. I find these quite interesting to look at, and it's really brought some character to the coastline of Greenhithe, really. I'm looking forward to walking along that grass area just up ahead there. Also, if you're interested in beaches, here's Greenhithe's beach. This little pebble bit here, you climb down that ladder there. So anyone who wants to go to the beach in Greenhithe, there's your option. Here we are closer up to this it's quite a concrete based boat, this one. And here, the path we have to go down this way. Just a little bit until we get to that green patch over there. I really didn't think I'd be doing this much filming in Greenhithe. I thought I would be out of Greenhithe by now and in the countryside, but I just found so much to look at here. It's such a picturesque shoreline along the River Thames, and it's not a place that you'd really go to spend too much time, but it is very nice to walk along the coast here, and there is a surprising amount of stuff to look at. You wouldn't spend more than one day here, but I can definitely see walking down the main street, which has pubs and other shops, and walking along the sea, well, the riverside. I am very tempted to walk to the end of this little jetty, but oh, that is really interesting. I only just noticed that while filming. This is called the Greenhithe Causeway, and it has a little symbol for Port of London Authority up there. That is extremely interesting. I discovered something. But as I was saying, I would walk to the end, but I know I've got a bit of a time limit. Well, I don't really, but I want to get to the end of this walk within 3 hours, hopefully. I did not expect this much from Greenhithe, really. This much stuff to see. Well, there's that boat just there. There's quite a smashed up traditional phone box here. Just entered this the grassy area here through a little gate that was up there, and there's a nice little park as well. Greenhithe is a place that many people would really think to go, but there is a lot to see on this this little stretch of walk here along the coast. I feel like the Dartford Borough Council must have put quite a bit of work into making Greenhithe look really nice. If you look just behind me, they've even got these stairs here with all these little cubes on them for people to sit down on. And all the way down here you've got all the riverbank defences? I'm not too sure, but it looks nice basically. You've got a lot of other than that one cardboard box in the background and bits of plastic that I probably got in the frame there. But what I'm trying to say is Greenhithe is quite a hidden gem from what I've seen so far. Just for like a quick day visit, it's really nice. These buildings up ahead are really big. You don't usually get this sort of thing in East Kent. Some serious money has been put into these really big apartments right on the Thames bank. And I'm guessing people with quite a bit of money must live there. Here we are now at the end of the Greenhithe stretch of coast with the super fancy buildings, and right behind me we can see the beginning of the countryside. So from here on out I believe if you saw on the map, you had the little pointy bit on the River Thames bank, which I had to go up and down. That's what this bit of countryside is going to be about, and it's pretty much going to be the only part of countryside on today's walk, because the rest of it, we'll have to go through Northfleet, and then we'll be in Gravesend. So it's quite simple, really. Right here, we got our kissing gate. So just like in the last walk, feels like we've entered the countryside. I wonder, should I go up these stairs, or should I go along the edge there? I'm not too sure. I just came across a sign that said that this footpath's going to be closed as of April 9th, and it could be closed for up to 6 months. So I'm pretty lucky that I'm doing this walk this early on. It's coming towards the end of March now, so I'm glad I didn't get to this point much later. Otherwise I might not have been able to follow the coast. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, I did not expect that. Those Canadian geese just flew straight past me as I was filming that shot. You cheeky Canadian geese. I'm pretty sure you're Canadian geese. Oh my gosh. They just came flying straight past my face. Well, not quite that close, but it felt like it. Okay, I know I need to get to that power cable, like underneath it. But I'm slightly confused because I can't go around here because there's a big fence in the way. There's no way to get through there, okay? So over here, if I just go up this hill, which I just climbed down, give me a second to get up there. So there's the little mound that I climbed over, and over here we have these signs: private land, no public footpath. So I'm guessing I can't go down there, but I feel like I'm supposed to go up there. There were footpath signs earlier, but then they disappeared when they got to this point, and now there's like these signs. I just want to get to the base of that. So, and it says there's a public right of way here. Technically not underneath that, but I'm going underneath that anyway. So I'm just gonna say it's this way, and if anything happens, I'll just claim that I got the map mixed up. Maybe. Perhaps. There are more signs up here that say private land, so maybe it is just that side which is private and I can walk this way. Well, what do you know? There's a public footpath sign, literally a few meters away from where I was confused. And right next to these signs, I think I got confused because the sign that's always on the right here is a bit confusing as to which, does it mean that's private or does it mean that's private? And that's why I wasn't too sure. Let's keep going. Okay, now it says this next to a path that I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go down to get underneath that. I know plenty of other people on the interwebs have gone underneath that. Blimey, all this private land is so annoying. Do I be safe and follow the actual designated public footpath? Or do I go where everyone else has been and just go down there? I want to get to the tippity tip of the little peninsula thing here. Well, I went down the private path because there wasn't anything saying that I'm not allowed to go down here exactly. And everyone else on the internet has been down here that I've seen. And this is the path, because it goes, I can see right ahead of me that it goes underneath the this tallest power cable. Oh my gosh. It's so huge. It is really, really huge. Well, if you don't hear from me again, you know why. Although you probably won't ever get this footage, so I'm kinda scared. Oh gosh. I can't even get this whole thing in frame right now, it's so big. Like, there's the bottom of it. And there's the top of it. This is absolutely huge. Oh my gosh. Okay, when I got up close to that gigantic power cable tower thingy and bob, there was a lot of CCTV cameras. I was surprised by that. Also it says, any trespassers will be prosecuted. Well, I'm guessing that meant there's like a little square cage thing at the bottom, and I'm guessing it meant inside there. Hopefully. I hope so. Otherwise I'm in trouble. But I'm pretty sure you can even go on Google Maps and see this guy who's photographed all along this coast, and he must have just walked here to do those photos. Same with all the people who've done their various walking blogs on the internet of the Kent coast. So I'm pretty sure it's fine. But that is really scary to walk under there, and I didn't want to stay there long either, because I could feel like I could almost hear buzzing, but I couldn't quite. You know, sometimes you hear buzzing, and I was like getting uncomfortable, and it felt like it was going to fry my body and I was going to die. That's an exaggeration, but you get the idea. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so big, it's not even all in the frame behind me, it's huge, it's so... Well, it's the biggest tower like that in the UK, or in Great Britain, it says on the internet, so that tells you something. Ah, the first sighting of Broadness Harbour. I'm quite excited to see this. This harbour is very eerie. Oh my gosh, I'm a little bit spooked. It's very quiet, except for the boats across on the Thames. There's almost no sound here. I'm not too sure what the history is behind Broadness Harbour, but well, I imagine at once there was a lot of people here, maybe. Now I don't know if there's anyone here. It feels like some people do live here, actually. While at the same time it feels like people don't live here. I'm very unsure on what to make of this harbour here. I'm not too sure how to get to the end from here. I know I've done a lot of research, but this place is really Like, there's a big puddle here, and I don't know how to get past that. I could try and go around it, but it's very grassy, and I think that's equally waterlogged. Okay, I've tried my best to get to the end, but I'm afraid it's just too waterlogged for me to get past, really. Both the paths that would lead to the tip of this little peninsula have these huge puddles in the way, and I don't know how far those puddles go. They might end up being most of the path there. I'm extremely interested about the story behind Broadness. I want to know what happened. Do people still live here? I know that this peninsula that I'm on right now was going to be completely built on by a film company who was going to make a theme park here, but that never happened in the end. Which I'm happy, because I like that this is all countryside. And I think it would be a shame to destroy what's here. I feel like this is somewhere that is probably of historical significance. And even if this was I have no idea how old this place is or anything about it. Even if it's only 100 years old, or not even that, I still think that this is an important place to be kept like this. It's definitely caught my interest, and I want to know more about this place. Like why it was formed, like why people came here in the first place, and it definitely looks like these are all houses along the edge of the harbour behind me here. Definitely, if you come to do the walk along the coast here, you can't miss this out. This has definitely been one of the highlights of today so far. I found this more interesting than Greenhithe, and I really found Greenhithe interesting, so I think that goes to show that this is a worthwhile place to see. Just the whole atmosphere here and everything about it. We are now... Oh, there's a little path there. I wonder where that goes. But yeah, we're now heading... All the noises are freaking me out a little bit. I think I've just found my pathway to the end of the peninsula. Yay, this path's looking very hopeful. I'm pretty sure this is it. I found it. I'm really happy that I found my way to this path, which was a bit out of the way to see. I couldn't quite figure out where it was when I was looking around, but I'm glad I found it, because I don't want to cut out any parts of the coast. I really want to be able to do as much as possible, really. After all, I'm doing the Kent Coast Walk, I can't miss bits out. Obviously, here and there are parts where I'll have to go away from the coast. In fact, there are going to be some parts later on today. And we have made it to the tip of the peninsula. That is what that little metallic object thingy-mabob is signaling that this is the very tippity tip of the peninsula. Also, you can see a lot of Essex over there. In fact, I think that is the town of Grays in Essex. Those buildings you can see over there. Are those cormorants on the metal there? There's some sort of bird. I don't know what it is though, so if anyone knows, make sure to tell me in the comments. That's the best I can get of them. Wow. But yes, we've made it to the end of the peninsula. things that I always have to do when I go somewhere is climb the highest point or go to the end of the peninsula, or those sort of things I always have to do because they're always so exciting. And right now I am so excited that I'm at the end of this peninsula in the bend of the River Thames right now. I can see in one direction the Dartford crossing behind me there. It's there somewhere. You can probably see it. And in the other direction we've got Essex, or there's Essex all around, just there. I'm surrounded by Essex, but I'm in Kent, which is incredible. I look to the west and we've got Essex, and I look to the east and we've got more Essex. But the ground in which I'm standing on, this is Kent. That's fascinating. And right now I am watching boats just cruise on by around this bend as I'm standing here. This sort of place I could just sit for hours just watching the world go by, and all the boats and the birds, and listening to the sounds. It's so exciting to be here and to know that I'm somewhere that I've been planning to go to for quite some time now. Unfortunately though, I can't stay here too long because I've already been very distracted by lots of things on today's walk, and I'm a bit worried about getting to Gravesend. I don't think I'm halfway yet. I might be. This might be the halfway point. If it is, then that's good. If it's not, then I might have to speed up pace a little bit. For now, there is this path up ahead going along the coast, but unfortunately that stops at some industrial area later on, and I think it is much easier for me to go across the path which leads down the peninsula than to scramble across the shrubs and all that to get around along the coast. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Here behind this this grassy wall we have even more industry, so this even diverts my path away from the eastern bank of this peninsula, and I have to head inland a little bit. And I'm gonna be inland for quite some time from here on out, probably until I get to Gravesend, or at least halfway through Northfleet, which is the next place I get to, on the other side of this industrial area. As I head alongside this industrial area behind me, which I've now turned and I'm heading parallel to the eastern bank of the river, just on the other side of the industrial area, I have come across this power cable thing, and that is buzzing really loudly. I can hear that much more loudly than the really tall tower over there. This is like it's frying constantly. Also over there, if you can see, there is a quarry. You can see the white cliffs of the quarry over there. I thought that was quite interesting. It would appear that I'm having to do a slight bit of scrambling anyway, because the big grassy path back there just stopped, which I wasn't expecting. But I have found an area where the grass is like, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but the grass has been trodden. So I'm guessing this goes through to where I want to be. I hope so, at least. We'll have to see. It's a nice open space though. You can see for quite a while across the field and over to the quarry. The quarry's really visible now. Let's see, can you... Yeah, there we go. You can see the quarry in the background now. Let's keep scrambling for a bit, I guess. After scrambling for a little bit, for a good while, through all of this tall grass and these bushes, I found the path I'm supposed to be on. Clearly the internet doesn't show things correctly, because there's supposed to be one of those grass tracks all the way through those trees, but there isn't. It's just a scrambly path which people have sort of trodden, but kind of. I found a dog paw print, so clearly someone's been there. I saw the dog paw print. But yeah, down there is the concrete, well, the whatever it's made of. I'm too tired, I've just been scrambling, okay? That's the path I'm supposed to be on. And it's down quite a steep, grassy thing, so wish me luck while I go down there. In fact, I'm going to keep the camera on. I'm just going to hold on to it tightly. And hopefully things will be okay and I don't break a bone. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's flowers, that's really nice. Thank you for welcoming me, flowers, to the safety of the path. I made it. I made it. Look at my trousers. They got a wet patch. Can you see that? Right. Yeah, there's a big wet patch on them. I have no idea how I got that wet patch. I just noticed it at one point. Oh, we're on solid ground. Okay, now it's time to follow this path into Northfleet. You can see it whereabouts. In a second you'll see it. You'll see it in a second. Let's just let's go over here. Here we go. You can see it. It cuts across this field here. I followed that into Northfleet. Okay, I'll catch up with you in a bit. Kissing gate. Yay. Bye bye scrambly field. Hello, nicely paved path. It's a nice little information board here. I'll just pan down so that you can read about it. It's about some of the animals that live in this area. There's a nice open area here next to this path. I know there's power cables, but otherwise it's kind of nice to walk here, even with all the industry around. I should have mentioned actually, but we're no longer in the Dartford borough. We're now in Gravesend borough, so that's a different council district of Kent. So apparently that little area I just walked around through the trees and all that is called Botany Marsh. That's interesting. I think I took a wrong turn one way and I went the long way around down there, but oh well. Okay, we are now on the edge of Northfleet. We've actually made it to the road. It's going to be roads for quite a way now until, well, almost until we get to Gravesend. I'm a little bit concerned about time. It's now 2 PM. I started this at 11 AM. So it's been 3 hours, but I have been stopping a lot more than I did the first time. My camera battery is also running out, but I think I can just squeeze in getting to Gravesend, hopefully. Oh look, a collection of London buses. That's interesting. That's pretty much what I say about everything. That's interesting. I should probably think of some other usage of words. Here's the main road going through Northfleet. We've really had to come into quite far inland because of all the industrial. Blimey. This is like an actual busy road. I didn't film much of the main street in Northfleet. The basic gist of it was a few chain places, shops. A very loud motorbike. Unfocused camera. Thank you for focusing. But now it's just a matter of going in and out as close to the sea as we can get all the way until we get to Gravesend. Because of all the industry, we have to go inland to avoid it, but then at certain points we can go towards the coast of the Thames, so we'll just have to, you saw in the intro my demonstration of showing all the in and outs, but let's see how much of the Thames we can actually see, or what sights we can see in this very industrial area. So I've just followed this back street with a lot of industry along it for a little while, and here next to the left couch, so if anyone feels like a seat at this point of the journey, there are facilities for you. You can sit down, but there's this little barrier here, and a little alleyway should be just up ahead, which will lead me right through the middle of a industrial area where you can only follow the footpath very close, like very thin footpath from what I've gathered when in my research, but you'll get a sight of that in a second. No trespassing. Oh my gosh. I can't go in that field? Oh my goodness me. Here's the beginning of the little alleyway, and it is surrounded on both sides by no trespassing, do not enter, danger. And you got this cute little footpath sign. Oh my goodness me. But yeah, we'll be following this for a little bit. That's the way we're going. I just realized we actually have a sight of the Thames here. That's exciting. See if I can... I can't actually see what the camera's seeing right now, because there's these really high concrete walls. But there's the Thames. And over there, I don't know what you're seeing, but that's the best I could do. Even this is quite interesting actually, just following this little alleyway. Oh, I can see how it goes through the industry area now. Oh my gosh, this is an adventure, oh my goodness me. It's so strange how this public right-of-way just goes right through an industrial area like this. If you look behind me, most of this land I can't walk on because it'd be trespassing, but I can just walk between the fences behind me. Warning, this footpath runs through a working site. Please be aware of vehicles and mobile plant. Yeah, literally it runs right through the centre. The Thames is just beyond that little concrete wall there. And because it's a public right-of-way, they had to allow people to still walk here. It just goes right through their working grounds. This is the most interesting footpath I've ever seen. Well, when I say interesting footpath, I mean on an industrial level, not like a beautiful nature footpath level, as in its situation is very interesting. Beware of vehicles. We have to cross this little... Yeah, I can see workers over there. And as long as I stay within these yellow lines, I'm fine. I'm on the public right-of-way. And then there's a little footpath sign up there. This is incredible that there's a public right-of-way that just goes right through industrial site. I've actually got to cross the main road here and see the main road which goes through this industrial estate. Okay, I didn't get run over, that's good. That's good news that I didn't die. This was something I was aware of, that they had this monument right here. But unfortunately the main monument, which is inside that little square here, is completely covered up. Oh, that's unfortunate, because that was going to be the main thing to see, and probably the main reason there's a public right-of-way here. I think there's a little hole in the top, so... yeah, you can just about see inside. There you go. But there's actually a little memorial inside there. Which I believe it's a World War memorial? That's what I read about online, I believe. But unfortunately it's completely covered up. Ah, I was hoping to see that. Either way, today's footpath has been completely full of surprises. Greenhithe blew me away with how lovely the little village is. Then we went through the marshes, we saw Broadness and the huge tower, and now we're walking through an industrial estate on a public right-of-way. It's been a complete mix of locations to see, and I've quite enjoyed discovering these locations as well. We've just got a little bit further to go until we're in Gravesend, so hopefully we'll see some exciting things. I really want to see the Pocahontas statue, which is in Gravesend. I'm not too sure if I'll see that today or in the next episode. Well, that was the industrial estate, and we have reached the gate on the other side. Oh, I just pull it? Oh my gosh, this is so heavy. That was a really heavy gate. Well, that was fun. Let's continue through this very industrial landscape. Ah, the Thames. We meet again at last. But only for a second, because we have to go back inland again in a second. And here you can see we have Northfleet Beach. So if you want to come to the beach in Northfleet, just simply hop over this wall and there's some pebbles for you. Right on the banks of the Thames. I've just been down the longest stretch of industrial blah ever. I'm looking forward to no longer being industrial, and I can't really think of any other point on the Kent Coast walk where there will be this much industrial. There'll be like one building, but not for such a long stretch of just industrial, industrial, industrial. The air smells of smoke and other industrial stuff. So at least we're near the end of the industrial. Oh joy! A litter-filled alleyway surrounded by industrial. Oh my gosh. It's okay. After this, the industrial will be over. Probably. Hopefully. I hope so. Oh my gosh. In all seriousness though, I knew that this area was going to be like this. I knew I would enjoy the marsh from before, and I knew I would enjoy the first bit of walking through the industrial, where I was in with the yellow lines on either side and I had to cross the road and all that stuff. That was fun. But this part that came after everything that I've just walked, everything just feels so dead and there's too much of it. It's just, it makes me upset because there's rubbish and the ground is all brown and it smells and it's just not very nice. And I knew that I have to go through this to get to the rest of the coast. And it was most certainly worth it for everything that I experienced on the first walk and the second walk up until this point. The same thing happened with the sewage works in the last one. There's so much nice things that could be, but they're spoiled by this sort of stuff behind me, well, you can't really see it now. There's just a pile of rocks there, but that's not... I think I'm guessing across what I'm trying to say, sort of. I'm tired, but... and it's getting difficult to think, but... it's just not nice that it's all like this. It's just, there's no, the air, it just feels dead, and there's little life and rubbish everywhere, and since I've come to this industrial section, there's been hardly any birds or anything. There were tons before. I imagine up ahead the birds are going to return, but this industrial section, it's just been so dead. I think that's the main thing that I was trying to say. Oh my goodness, there's some swans down there. We actually have birds again, and that's the first swans I've seen on the whole walk. I think we're now coming to the edge of Gravesend. This is literally the last stretch. Gravesend is just up ahead there, basically that pier or just beyond. Wow, I can't believe I've come all this way. We just got some seagulls riding on a barrel in the sea. It's not focusing very well, but I thought that was quite funny. We have actually made it to Gravesend. I am exhausted after this walk. So if I'm a little bit quieter, that's why. We walked all the way from Greenhithe to Gravesend through... like, it's been an amazing day. I can't put it into words. I've had so much fun on this walk. And I can't believe we're here, in Gravesend. Wow, and there's some of the little jetty pier things that Gravesend is known for. There's also one of those has a service that goes over, a boat service that goes over to Tilbury on the Essex side, just over there. You can see Essex over there. I won't be doing that. Maybe in the future, but not for the Kent Coast Walk, because Essex isn't Kent. Let's just find our way to the high street now, I guess, and I'll pick back up wherever I decide to leave this little boardwalk along the coast here. I can't believe I'm in Gravesend. I'm actually in Gravesend. Wow. If I don't see Pocahontas on my path down the high street, then I shall find her next time. I'm too tired to go looking around for her right now. But it's been an absolutely amazing day. I've had so much fun exploring this area, except for the industrial bit, that upset me a bit. But everything else, it's been so much fun. I can't wait for the third one, which will be from Gravesend to Cliff on the Hoop Peninsula. And I actually saw the Hoop Peninsula in the distance, but I don't think the camera could pick it up because it's so faint on the horizon. Alright, high street time. And here we have Gravesend train station. The end of my journey today. Thank you very much for watching this second video in my Kent Coastal Walk series, Greenhithe to Gravesend. Next time we have Gravesend to Cliff. I cannot wait to get started on that. This episode was so much fun to film, so much so that it is actually my longest video on the Sidders channel so far. I hope to see you back for the next video if you enjoyed this one, and we shall be starting off with the Pocahontas statue next time. Goodbye everyone!